2, 1. All righty. Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Comics and Variety, Indy Comic Stream. Today, I am pleased to have as my co-host, John Hervey. How are you, John?
Indeed. Doing well, man. How about yourself?
I can't complain, and even if I could, who'd listen? So
there's truth in that.
Yes, there is, and of course, last but most definitely not least is my lovely colorist, Leanore King.
Woohoo!
How are you, Leanore?
I'm okay. I've been better, but I've also been worse, so I'm going to take it as a win.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. Which page are we coloring this evening?
Page 18.
All right,
is the one I believe we agreed was acceptable. Let me see if I can get my screen to share.
All right. Well, if you can't, we are going to have a short show.
Okay.
Either that, or you got to pull out one of the unacceptable pages.
Unacceptable.
It's not acceptable.
Okay, I think I've got it sharing. It's the whole thing, which is so weird because when I stream my art on my channel, it's just like cropped to just the artwork. So like you can see me clicking.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Let me just go through a couple of the administrative details. My comic book Tilt Part 2 is now funding. We are $5 away from 1,600, which would put us at the 40% mark at just about 10 days in, which is
come on, people.
Yeah, really. Which means that even not even I'd be at 40% with not even 20% of my campaign over. Want to thank everyone who has backed it so far. I hope you all got the updated email, the email update today showing the new art from Lakem Amir. Well, let me just bring it up.
It looks
here
good.
Real quick.
I was feeling all special, so I'm like, haha. I got it, so I got to see it. You did it.
Well,
I guess we'll let people see it.
Well, you can stop feeling special now. Sorry.
That's kind of how my life works.
Well, it's how my life works too. Every day I wake up around 6:30 feeling special. Around 3 p.m. I feel like, the rest of the world's a big grand tuxedo and I'm a brown pair of shoes. So, but at any rate, this is the King of Diamonds. He did a wonderful job here. I just
are those the colors I picked? Because they look way better when he used them.
Well, you used but you were using very.
Well, that's because that's real blood that he used for the red.
Right? Oh my god.
But I think, didn't you yours were just base colors, right?
Yeah, I just sort of used a watercolor brush thing and like smudged them in the areas so like it would be like, I don't know, a swatch template. But like seeing it fully rendered, I'm like, wow, that does look as good as I thought it would.
Yeah, well, you got it started. He did the rest, and now you have something to work with in the comic. So
that axe is just amazingly detailed. I love it. Yeah,
it is. It is really nice, and I love the color scheme here. It reminds you a little bit of Iron Man, and it's just I
was thinking more like Iron Spider. Kind of the way the color looked. I really like that red. It's not metallic-y, but it's just something. I guess it is irony, like blood.
Well, certainly the yellow is very metallic, I think.
Yeah.
But no, you set it up. You set it up really nicely, Leanore.
It's
so
awesome.
Thank you. And okay, so we like I said, I'm $5 from being 40% funded. So hopefully someone watching this evening can give me another little boost. And then let's move on to some of John's new projects. We've got Magna, The Last Pantheon. Sign up page is live. And just give us a brief synopsis of this your forthcoming work.
So this book is it's in the same universe as Black Tiger for those that supported Black Tiger. And it's really a heroine story of a woman who learns that she's adopted, goes on a journey to learn her parentage, and finds herself in the midst of the last of the mighty men of old, the last of a group of hodgepodge of Pantheon members. And she becomes the key to saving their lives and really kind of unlocking what's really destroying the Pantheons.
You said you were at I think when we were in the green room, you had about 116 people who'd signed up so far?
Yes, sir.
All righty.
Yes,
well,
sir.
Let's see if we can get you up to closer to 120 by the end of this stream. So, and then you still have in demand Black Tiger: Legacy of Fury, which I have a copy of. The art is fantastic. It's a good story. So, and you have hardcovers coming out, correct?
I do. So we have this is the hardcover.
All right.
And this is the soft cover.
Ah.
So I think we have 14 of the soft cover remaining. And if we stick with the amount that we originally ordered, we have one of the hardcover remaining. But this hasn't been fulfilled yet. So if more people hopped on board at this point, we could still fulfill it. But we're not going to do any overage. I promised my wife we weren't going to have to use old sets of boxes as furniture. I didn't want to have books all over the place. So would love to have anyone else on board that's interested in the book. It's 172 pages of comic book glory. This is so you're going to get your bang for your buck if you get the soft cover. It's $25 bucks for the 172 pages, and then for the collector's collector, you can get the hardcover, or you can get the hardcover with the slipcase.
Cool. All righty. Well, yeah, back that for 172 pages for like $25 or even $75. That's a really good deal. So,
what a bargain!
What a bargain! All righty. Before we move on to Leanore coloring, I think I mentioned Steve Inman to you last time, John. I don't know. Are you aware of Steve Inman, Leanore?
Yes, he's the fighting commentator that has to do more hilarious. Yes, I'm very familiar with and adore him.
Well, this one was here. I was like, what the heck's this? My Hero. No, the guy below Chucky. And I'm like, where am I? What is this? So I clicked on it. And when you do, you get this.
Oh, snap.
My apologies to anyone who's a Chuck Schumer fan. I can't imagine there are too many of them out there, but at any rate, I thought that was funny.
If you take out who it is saying it to who, like all the people involved, it's like one person is just making a suggestion that makes a lot of people feel kind of comfortable. The other person is suggesting do something that'll make one person feel great.
Alrighty, what? Didn't think about it that way.
Let's put a positive spin on the thing.
There you go. Alrighty, let's watch a little bit of this here.
Turns out Jesus is even tired of rioters and looters, and these guys are just throwing hands. And you can see Jesus is rolling up. He's like, "Yeah, you want to taste some of this Holy Spirit?" And there you go, right to the mouth. Right, and completely trips him. You can see that Jesus didn't even have to touch him, man. That's what it was all about. Right here, you can see he's just backing him up. He's like, "Bring it on. There's nothing you can do. I can dodge every punch that you throw because I know what you're going to throw before you even throw it. Man, I'm better than Bruce Lee. What are you talking about? I mean, who the hell throws a fight or picks a fight with Jesus in the first place?" This guy takes a big right, and right there, you're just like, man, I just tasted the Holy Spirit, and Jesus doesn't even have to touch him. The guy swings and totally eats gravel. Wow. Jesus
Alrighty,
is tired of.
Let's give this one up here a whirl as well.
Brandy Tifa on the run from the law. Well, nothing new to see here. Brandy Tifa on the run from the law with some handcuffs, and booyah out of nowhere like a freaking jack-in-the-box. Gets smashed into the ground, and it looks like she has some of her teeth. Some are there, some are gone. Somebody call Mike Lindell and get this chick a My Pillow. You can see right here, nothing new. She's used to having handcuffs with her boyfriend Chaz, but tonight she's trying to get home to Chaz, hoping to get some love, but instead she'll get a little love from the freaking asphalt. And like I said, No more teeth. Some are there, some are gone. Feed this chick a freaking Hot Pocket milkshake. Good night.
All righty.
Hot Pocket milkshake. I'm gonna die. That's amazing.
All righty. Let's bring up your screen now, Lenore, and let's get you started coloring.
Oh, I've been messing with stuff because I was like, wow, there's a lot of not actual coloring that I need to do as far as like just copying layers to make sure everything stays in place. But we're good. We're good.
Now, the colors you've got up there, they're called base colors again or something
These
different?
are just the flats. And these are actually, I did adjust it to where it is the same, like the other scenes that take place in the same setting. This is the colors.
They're masking me, shoving, and then, but she's mad at me. Rosetta's mad at me. Hi, Rosetta. Sorry, I'll give you a wrench here in just a second. Just a second.
Wait, where was I? I'm like, wait, what was I doing? Okay. Do I have these guys copied?
Alrighty, there you go. We're set. So these are base. They're called base colors, or
they're the flats. I did adjust them to where they're
right.
they're the actual colors I'm going to use. So at this point, I just need to go in and add all the snazzification and shading.
Now remind
that
us
is the technical term.
Snazzification. Yes.
So can you snazzify?
I can snazzify with the
All right,
best
awesome.
of them.
That's awesome.
No, you're not awful. You just keep me on my toes.
You're awfully awesome.
Keep me
I'm about to knock stuff over. Shit.
Can't wait to do your show tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. So
Yes. I realized earlier, I'm like, I have no idea when this show starts, and I should probably know this. Like, these are things I need to know in order to be there. Probably.
Yeah, it helps when you want to show up.
It does. It really does. If I have any expectation of arriving, I need to know when to do the thing. So.
Yes.
Now remind us again, why do you start with flats? Why not just start with the color you actually are going to end up with?
Well, in this case, it is. These are the colors I'm going to end up with so far. It's just without all of the extra details. And if I isolate them as flats, then I can just select, like, if I have a completely different layer selected and I go in here to selection for referred layers and make sure, blah, 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 then I can click anywhere and it'll only select that area. It goes behind the inks and selects that whole chunk of color. So then I can do whatever kind of shading or effects I want to just that area without messing with any of the other colors around it, which for the background, I typically don't get too picky about that because I like it when the background kind of fades into the background because that's what it's there for. If there's like an Easter egg or an item in the background that's supposed to pop out, like I will obviously try to make it stand out a little bit, but when I color a comic book, I want the characters and the action to be what really jumps out at you. I don't try to hide the details, but, obviously more muted colors when possible and a little less meticulousness. And I don't know if you've noticed, I use much more like painterly textures for the background than I do the characters. The characters are all very smoothly rendered, which I thought worked for the book, and you haven't complained yet. So like, I'm going to do this because I think it looks good. And then if he hates it, I'll do something else. Like
now, are they all going to have the same color shirt?
No, that was the one thing I'm just now noticing. I'm like, I really did give them all the exact same outfit.
Yeah.
But I figured like slightly changing the undershirt tones probably won't be a big deal. Let me find that layer. There's not the
And here's Rosetta. Lenore, you've never been on my channel. You owe me an interview.
I do. Are you trying to say you want to like corner me solo or like digital traditional colors stream with you? That would be fun. I would stream or record more of my traditional art because I do a lot of painting. I have dirty ass palettes everywhere to prove that. But I don't have a very good rig or enough space to really like record any top down stuff. So it's pretty much digital or nothing when it comes to showing off the process for me, which sucks at the moment, but I will figure it out. I did think I found an app for my phone that would let it turn into like an IP webcam I could then share to other sources. It was just such a big, long amount of bullshit just to make people watch me paint. I'm like,
She's like, yes, I have canvas everywhere. And I replied, Rosetta is putting a lot of pressure on all of us tonight.
Thought you were sweating over there, Doc.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, where? I'm gonna vary these shirt colors here.
So what got you into coloring? She's like, no. What got you into coloring? I mean, what made you want to do that?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, of course. I'm the one on the show. Duh. I forgot how this whole thing works for a second. Well, I had actually never really thought about coloring somebody else's art. Except for like back in the day, I'd have other artists that would be like, hey, let's do a collab. But most of the time they were wanting me to do the line work and them to color it. So it was actually interesting when people were, brought up, well, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. I really fucking don't. So I just decided, it's art. It's a type of art. And it's the more fun part, in my opinion, most of the time, because I don't have to worry as much about if the proportions are right. Is this head facing the right direction? Is this all perfectly drawn and illustrated? Like, no, that part's already been taken care of. I just have to make it colorful and fun and just that much more aesthetically pleasing. And that's just exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the less stressful way to participate in a project. Only slightly, because, Which guy is this? Oh my God. Okay. This perspective is strange. I'm like trying to make sure the same guy's shirt is pink in all the frames necessary. Okay. We'll get there.
And just remember, when you color the Queen of Clubs, it goes red, black, red.
And that was the most bizarre thing when I colored it that way. And then like the thumbnail in the drive showed it the right way. But then when you downloaded it, it was the wrong file.
Yeah, but you also did it again in some of the pages recently, remember?
Actually, I just didn't notice there wasn't a boot line. So I have to actually go in and like separate it. So when I was doing the base colors, like just going through and trying to get them separated out quickly, I didn't notice it. So when I went to go color it and I was like in the zone, I didn't notice it. So when you brought it up, I'm like, crap. So I just have to kind of like draw the loop. Like, here's the boot.
Yeah, well,
this is where the boot lives.
you can blame that one on Marcos. He must not have drawn the boot line. So
it's literally just a little line that was missing that is completely superfluous if I put the color there. But I did like, woo! I've just been so spaced out. I didn't even think to like zoom out and be like, all right, is this right? Is this correct? I mean, if I had it my way, they would just not wear pants. So then it wouldn't be an issue.
Cool.
There you have it.
That kind of narrows the marketability of the book, though.
No, maybe I'll dress them all up in thongs in issue 3.
You'll just develop a new market. That's all.
I would absolutely not complain.
King Toad the Mothman had to stop by and give Doc a thumbs up to say, I hope the campaign is going well. Thank you very much, kind sir. It is going well. As I said earlier, porn sells. Yes, it does. As I said earlier, I am $5 away from being at 1,600, which would be 40%, and I'm not even 20% into the campaign yet. So I'm feeling pretty good, as long as I don't focus on the fact that we're in one of those little troughs again, and it's I'm waiting for things to pick up a little. But that's okay. That's just the nature of the beast, and you gotta write it out. So
it will pick up, though. That's the important part.
It will.
Yeah, at least you're ahead of the wave. So you're in a good place.
Yep. We have a whole bunch of people turning out for Rosetta's show tomorrow. So yes, someone does need to buy those sexy original arts. The only one that's been bought so far is the Graveyard Shift one. I don't want to say disappointed, but maybe a little surprised. I thought you've got some nice stuff available there.
I genuinely thought, as a person who uses watercolor, gouache, acrylic, oil, and colored pencils, she had blended that shit so well, I thought it was watercolor. Full on thought it was watercolor. When she was like, it's not, I was like, oh, you blended it so smooth. That's literally my biggest pet peeve with colored pencils. If they're not the perfect consistency, I cannot blend them and I get mad, like physically angry.
Yeah, she's very talented. She did a really nice job on those. So what is like a page like this? What do you find to be the easiest thing, and what do you find to be the most difficult, challenging thing?
Honestly, the most challenging thing is making sure they all don't have the same color T-shirt on. All right. Little things like that, and of course, like, I don't know. I think the most difficult for a scene like this, because of all of the little different colored spotlight things, making sure that I portray that onto the things in the room. Like, obviously, there isn't just one standard light source for this particular piece. So the shadows are kind of just not something I'm focused on. I'm more focused on like the points of color. And I don't know if you want me to show the other page, or if you wanted to pull it up at some point. But that's the most difficult part for me, is making sure that the light source matches, or the final color tone matches.
If you want to bring
big on like,
if you want to bring up another page to show what you're talking about, go ahead.
Okay. I think it's actually page 1, the literal first page. So I don't think it's gonna.
Will you be doing more night shows used to the Sunday morning show? No, I'm going to keep the Sunday morning show up. Right now I am doing 3 days a week, usually probably going to be more, well, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but this week it was Monday, Tuesday, Friday. I'm doing like a quick 15-minute calling C&V midday. Going to keep the Sunday show up, and then we'll be doing this one night show, the Indy Comic stream. But tell us about the difficulty of this page then. I'm
using this page as an example because it takes place in the same setting. So these little light guys appear at the top. The biggest part for me is to make sure that, one, they look like lights and don't just look like little colored circles floating in the air. And then obviously the light down here, they're the different casts, you know what I mean? Like, each little light is going to cast a different color spot somewhere. And that affects the way, everything is. Like, you can see the color on her jacket. You can see the color reflecting off of her legs. She's got some pink light on her butt cheeks, some blue light on the boots. And that's something I have to kind of think about, because if I didn't do that, it wouldn't have the same vibe. This wouldn't scream, I'm in a nightclub with spotlights on me. It would just, I don't know, it would just look very different to me. Oh. And I'm one of those people where if that isn't a factor, then it's not. If I don't keep that in mind, then it doesn't really play off to me. And in this case, the guys in the background are obviously faded because of the light sources. But like in this one, it's zoomed in on them, so they're going to have to be a little more in the foreground when I color this. Whereas in this page, they're more of like background elements, and Jennifer is the main foreground item. So I have to keep keeping all of that in mind, keeping the lighting in mind, being like, are we inside or outside? Or is it daylight, night light? Like, what kind of light sources? How is that going to affect the colors? Those are the things that makes it actually difficult. If it wasn't for any of that, if it was one of those things where it didn't matter what color I used or what it looked like at the end of the day, and it was just for funsies, then it would be super easy to just color a page. But keeping in mind all of those factors to try to make sure that it doesn't suck when it's done, which might be overthinking it. I have no idea if every colorist on the planet keeps all of those things in mind at all times. Some styles might not call for that. Like those comics that are just the flat cell shading, and there's no real to it. Obviously, that's not as big a deal, but that is not the route we went with this comic book. So that is not the way it is going. I gotta
cut you off here for just a second, because the gauntlet has been thrown down.
Ooh.
Oh my, the gauntlet has been thrown down. Rosetta, you can come on anytime you want. Do you want to pop in here now? I will shoot you the link.
Do it.
Yes. Got to do that.
She may pop in here and pop you in the mouth.
That'll be fun too.
Whatever gets the views, man. Whatever gets the views.
Yeah, that other page looked really good, Leanore. It definitely has that club type of vibe to it.
Thank you. I think it's a good first page for people to see when they open the book. It'll be like, this is I'm going to enjoy this. This is going to be nice.
Yes.
I know that's all it would take. I open the book, I see booty cheeks, nice ones like that. I'm like, Take my money.
Oh no, shit! I'm in the tub. Damn it. Okay.
So just keep the camera angled above the boobs. We'll be fine.
Hey everyone. Hello, Corey. Thanks for having me on with your brother Clayton the other night. I got another backer from Australia out of that. That's why I'm only $5 from 40% now. So thank you.
Nice. Corey Barton in the house.
I just got sent back a time warp. I actually, when I was younger, had two brothers that lived across the street from me named Corey and Clayton that I hung out with a lot. They were cool dudes. We were like 8, so I have no record. They're probably still cool. I don't know. Pretty sure it's not the same people. That's just interesting to me.
How long will I be on? Oh, I don't know. We'll probably go about an hour, maybe a little longer. I don't particularly like really long shows, but yeah. If you can come on, great. If not, hey, the gauntlet has been thrown down, and I will have to rise to the challenge now. So we will have to get you on here soon.
Salt in the wounds there.
A couple other things I'm going to be doing soon. I'm going to have a feature on Indy Comic stream called "Could You Make This Movie Today?" And I've got a friend a good friend of mine by the name of Sean Higgins, who is big into film criticism. And I was talking to him about it today, and he's going to show up, and we'll bring in anyone else who wants to come on as well. I think the first one we're actually going to look at is Silence of the Lambs. Because no, seriously, because
I don't know why I laughed. That movie's funny to me. The lamb stopped crying yet, Larry. And then it's like, then it zooms out and he's fully tucked. I'm sorry, I just replayed the whole movie in my head. It made me laugh.
I ate his liver with some fava beans. Nice Chianti.
I just realized the viewers can't even see me. They can see the top of my head.
Oh, there we go. We can see your eyes. There you go.
That was awkward. It went away as I'm like.
But still, seriously, the line "Our Billy Boy thinks he's is not a real transsexual, but he thinks he is." Given that, could you make the movie that movie today?
You could, but you would 100% get called transphobic. Just like I was watching Rocky Horror Picture Show last night, and I'm just like, this would absolutely not stand today. Absolutely would not. But because it was so popular back in the day, it has such a cult following. Nobody is saying anything about it. But I rewatched it, and I'm like, I could hear people reeing in the back of my head. Like, meanwhile, I'm just jamming to Meatloaf. Everybody, I could just hear people seething. Like, how has this movie not gotten yelled at?
M-Force wants to know how I could obstruct Leanore. Yeah, I don't know M-Force.
Just kind of like you're doing right now. That's all.
Was there the setting to move everything up?
Corey, I'm here all night. Don't worry.
I thought there was a little
color
box
on a
maybe
screen for me. All right.
Ooh. I would like to watch her color stuff.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that, and I think another one, the old Michael Keaton movie, Mr. Mom. Might be, well, there's the Terry Garr at the end wants to go back to being a mom. She doesn't want to be a career woman. So could you make that movie today? I don't know, but it ought to provoke some interesting discussion. And
that's an interesting show premise, because you can look at it from both angles. Like, could you make it today? And if you did, would it be largely more popular because of the outrage?
And then we'll even address the question of have values changed so much that maybe it shouldn't be made today. You go back and look at the way minorities used to be portrayed in Amos and Andy. Would you want to bring that show back today? I mean, is that appropriate given how values have changed? Probably not. So we'll discuss that as well. Because clearly, with Silence of the Lambs, the premise is that there's sexual deviancy going on, and
I think that one they might have actually been able to get away with making, because it points out that he isn't actually transsexual. He's just criminally insane. Whereas a lot of the stuff that gets people up in arms is when it portrays that transsexuals are also criminally insane. It actually points out that there's a separation between the two things. So that might actually, if presented in that light, be welcomed with open arms, because we all know how if you have somebody dressed up like a woman and kill people without clarifying that, you get called transphobic.
Okay, but let me mansplain something to you, Leanore.
Here we go.
Oh Lord!
What you just did there is called subtle distinction. And let me tell you something about political activists. Subtle distinctions are not their bag.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it would have to be very openly. It wouldn't just be like a footnote. You would have to promote the film as new cutting edge film finally differentiates the difference between having transsexual tendencies and being criminally insane, and that they're not the same thing. Hannibal Lecter gets it. He's an ally. Like, if you portray it like that, it would 100% work. But you couldn't leave it open for interpretation. You would have to shove it down their throats that way. The way they do movies that don't even actually have notable, worthwhile, like, they'll do that with any movie. Like, oh, the woman's the lead. We'll shove that down your throat because it's never been done before, when it has a million times. But you would literally have to spell it out for them. You couldn't leave it subtle. You would have to literally put it on every poster, every flyer, every promotional video, and like beat it into the ground, even though it's not actually the point of the movie at all.
Hey, Vic, how are you?
Vic King.
Good to have you in the house.
No relation.
She was quick to say that too. Man. Wow.
Because I actually had somebody ask me the other day, like, is this your husband or brother? Like, no. It's just a more common last name than you think.
So what are your thoughts on her on her art, John?
I'm enjoying the color. I'm enjoying the process. You know, it's always kind of interesting because she's already set a tone in the first page. So she has to kind of match that tone in a certain regard. But also here, you know, she also needs to bring a little bit more light in this area, you know, because these guys, I guess, are kind of in the dark part of the club, but they're in the foreground, you know?
Yeah, so I have to try to balance that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be fun. And speaking of setting the tone, I'm constantly
speaking of setting the tone.
Yay, hello!
Hello and boo.
Hello.
My hair's a bit wet, so I have to kind of put the hood on right now.
If my hair was wet, I would be freezing to death. It is so cold.
It's cold here too, but I'm cold crazy. Vic! Fucking hell! Hey, bud! Mwah!
There you go, Leanore. Vic just said you guys are cousins.
My last name's on the cover of all the books. Maybe he just thought he was getting credited for it all. He's like, sweet.
Exactly.
Like, no, that's me. I'm that king. You're the other one. That's why that last name's on the book twice on one of the versions.
Did you have the version I colored.
Yeah.
Cover.
Did you have a nice bath, Rosetta?
Oh, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Sitting in the tub listening to you guys going, let's troll people. Oh, wait, he's giving me a link? Fuck, I guess I gotta get out. You better extend this fucking stream from me coming out of the bathroom.
Actually, we're about to end it. Good night, everybody.
See you later.
No, Doc's not that fucking stupid.
Close.
Oh, fuck.
Not quite that stupid, but you know,
he's a smart boy.
It's a
He's
thin
a
line.
good boy. Yes, he is.
Yeah, but sometimes good boys need spankings too.
How about we strike that and reverse it? There we go.
Well, I was seeing some of those paddles you'd made the other day, so it was like, woo.
Giggity.
Oh, there's one. There's the Star Trek one.
Very nice.
I have an Enterprise paddle to boldly spank where no one has spanked before.
Please, Captain, may I have another?
Oh, my word.
Alrighty. Well, John, why don't we take a quick... we'll come back to Leanore's coloring, and let's just talk a little bit about Graveyard Shift 2. And any of you want to jump in?
Graveyard Shift 2, yes.
Yeah. Here we go. Alrighty. If you're not familiar with Graveyard Shift, this is John Malin's book, and it's kind of an interesting book because he ends up putting it's a kind of a Dracula story, but he puts Count Dracula and Van Helsing on the same side, and then we have the good characters, Vlad, Lilith, and Mick. They're the good guys, and they were kind of transformed into monsters. Vlad and Lilith being vampires, and Mick being not really sure exactly what.
Kind of like an
undead, Hulk kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
like a Solomon Grundy type deal.
There you go.
Yeah, there was something. Van Helsing, who has designs on. Okay, Van Helsing.
She's like, peace out.
Van Helsing, who has designs on taking over the world, but he's actually not on the throne. Dracula is the power behind the throne.
Right.
He is doing some experiments on people underseas, and the idea with the experiments is that you're going to be able to raise the dead, and he's going to be able to use the dead as soldiers. And Vlad and Lilith and Mick get experimented on. They come out as monsters, but decide to dedicate their lives to fighting Van Helsing. And that's basically where we're picking it up in issue 2 here. Is Van Helsing is very close to taking over the world, and let's see here. Yeah, did I miss a page? Yeah, there is this. It opens with this character, and I want to say I don't know it. I don't remember exactly who this character is. He's one of the survivors of the underseas lab. I want to say that it might actually be this character, Mr. Harker, who was early on in the book, but I don't know.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you remember? I wasn't. The thing about Malin is he'll introduce characters and he'll leave a lot of mystery to it, and then you don't figure out what's going on until to later on in the issue, or sometimes maybe into the next issue. So
would Mr. Harker be a reference to Mina Harker and her husband from the actual Dracula novel?
Probably.
Probably.
Fall back.
But there's this being underseas, and he's the dialogue box here, a call. Something is here, something ancient, something big, and he will come into play later on. That something ancient, something big was kind of unexpected, but at any rate. We get to Van Helsing is now he's trying to take over the world by promising no more monsters, and
you definitely see the the brainwashing, the naivete, the ignorance, whatever, of the populace. So I'm sure Malin was going for that, and people just kind of eating out of the hands of Van Helsing.
Yeah, but he also showed that there's a group of people who aren't buying into it and actually favor the good guys, who are called Graveyard Shift as well. So he's, I like that. He introduces, I won't call it subtlety, but some diversity. And, in other words, it's not like Van Helsing's been able to completely control everyone. So I like that. And at any rate, the three guys, the Graveyard Shift is getting into a fight with Van Helsing. And one of the backstories here is that Lilith is married to Mick, but is having an affair with Vlad. And in issue 1, Van Helsing let Mick know that, wanted to sow some dissension in their ranks. And here Mick is about to kill Vlad, and Lilith stops him. And this is a few pages later, where whatever that purple entity was comes out of the sea, and he has brought Cthulhu with him.
Why not? Yeah,
why not? I mean, it's great art.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's amazing.
I don't know, is it Cthulhu? I guess it's Cthulhu.
I don't know. I don't want to try and pronounce it because I'm going to say it wrong.
I just say
Cthulhu.
Yes. Sorry, I'm going in and out here.
Yeah.
Almighty Squid Lord.
I don't think my understanding is H.P. Lovecraft, who wrote the Call of Cthulhu, never actually said how the name was pronounced. So
no,
I guess
he never definitively said this is how it's pronounced. So as far as I'm concerned, all of it's right.
By the way, Leanore, you were talking about painting. I have right here behind me, in the black here, several 4-foot tall canvases I need to do that I was doing with solar work.
Oh, I don't have anything 4 foot, but there's a bookshelf behind me. The entire bottom.
I have a
row
whole bunch of small ones and stuff down here.
Oh.
I have a whole bunch of wood pieces I'm working on back here. I have a bunch of micro ones over there.
All of mine are
I have a bunch
blank.
of paddles and wood pieces here. I have a bunch of color jobs right here. I have some paint work here.
I have all of my stuff magically confined to like this shelf behind me, and then I just noticed I have like big canvases stuffed behind my desk.
Did you guys want a sneak peek at the Eagles, Doc?
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh.
Give us just a second here. We'll come back to this, but I'll say, John, when I got to this page, I was like, uh-oh, this is about to go off the rails.
You thought this was a shark jumping moment.
Yeah, I thought that this was, oh God, but he actually works it in pretty nicely, and it actually kind of works, because what ends up happening is they take down Van Helsing, this creature, Sarah, who was experimented on very cruelly, comes in to kind of save the day,
Right?
and they end up. It doesn't actually kill Van Helsing. He rises up to kill Sarah, and then Mick comes back and kills Van Helsing.
Yeah.
But then, as he's dying, Van Helsing calls on Lord Dracula, and it leads to this, what I thought was a pretty impressive splash page. I mean, this is very nice.
Yeah, that was
Some beefcake.
Yeah.
that was definitely some beefcake for the ladies. Sexy Dracula man.
Alrighty, and
If you're into the undead man, of course.
yes, and then to fight Dracula, the creatures are called up from the sea, including Cthulhu.
Yeah, you pronounced that. Yeah, Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. And he ends up defeating Dracula, which, for the most part, largely worked. Our benefactor, this master of the sea, such power, only pray that we can trust him. This benefactor actually can control Cthulhu, and that, I guess, was one of the only real problems that I had, because my understanding is really no one controls Cthulhu. But
well, see, I saw him kind of like an Aquaman, except for he talks to sea monsters.
okay, all right.
You feeling me?
Like
Yeah.
Aquaman, but he only talks to the screwed up shit in the ocean.
Exactly. Aquaman calling forth the.
Like he can only talk to the Kraken, Cthulhu, and like.
Thank you. Like Nessie, the Kraken, Cthulhu. That's who he talks to. Aquaman talks to whales and seahorses. And there's somebody out there. I just said that there's somebody that's an Aquaman fan, and I'm gonna hear it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'll say this for Graveyard Shift 2. I actually enjoyed it more than 1, because I started to care a little more about the characters. Last time Jeremy Lott said, yeah, but which of the characters do you really care about in this novel? And I was stumped, because I thought about it and I didn't really. But here, especially when you see that they're quite vulnerable to Van Helsing and being crushed, and the whole love triangle thing gets going, almost tears them apart. I just and the fact that Vlad is trying to protect Lilith at various points, and then she's trying to protect him.
Right.
That made me care about and then they're trying to protect Sarah. That made me care about them more. So now I really start to care about some of these characters. And it was an easy read, because this was 95% action. He really just drove it home, and overall it flowed pretty well. So I got to say, John Malin, you really, if you didn't knock it out of the park with this, you certainly hit a triple. So
no, he did a good job. And there's definitely, especially, it's a challenge in character development, especially when you're trying to cover so much ground like he did. I mean, basically, you need to get introduced to the characters. You need to see how the characters become who they are. You need to see how Lilith and Mick's relationship deteriorates, then how her relationship with Vlad comes up, because it's like, it's almost like reading. You're like, so much is happening that you can almost, there's space in between there, but you can't have that, because this is, he's only got limited space and he's got to tell the story. So I think, like, when you realize that, like, there is a lot that's being told in the story, and like you got to give a little bit of breathing room. I think that's what helped me with the characterization is you're realizing, yeah, I'm reading all this right now, but these developments with Vlad, and then also with Mick, these happened over the course of time, so we're kind of getting like the compact version of it. And then because you're right, because like a lot happens and you're just like, who am I really caring about here? Then you realize that, what, they all have some good characteristics and they all have some characteristics that are, they're human. Well, actually, but they're undead humans. Yes. So help me out there.
Sure.
But yeah,
they're undead, but they have very human emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
And then at the end here, this Master of the Sea says it's time for the abominations to take down the real monsters. So it's like, uh-oh.
so that's what I'm kind of interested in. It's kind of seeing where you're going to go, because they continually up the ante, and you saw how tough Van Helsing was. Then you get a taste for how tough Dracula is, and if like Dracula isn't the real monster, then who is the real monster? And then you kind of have, you kind of have, I guess, kind of the undead Justice League here, right? If you have undead Aquaman there, and then you have, I'm loving that undead Aquaman. I'm sticking with that one. I guess it's more of like
saying undead Aquaman, and I'm getting like a smell of dead fish in my face.
It's working.
Thinking about it, I'm like,
See, you're getting all the senses.
I don't like it.
Yeah, you're like, no likey.
It's very salty and sour.
Yeah.
That's what she said just now.
Yeah, I really got to chalk up. This is one of the better comics I've read in a while, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next volume.
Yeah, me too. Alrighty, why don't do you want to show off the Eagles now, Rosetta?
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'll give you a solo.
I gave you a screen share.
Oh, okay.
And this is what I'm working on a bit, and one sec here. I'm gonna move this a sec so I can direct better. This is the opening page here, but I'm gonna have two versions of this book, and this is just the first one here. And yes, it's a little laggy between. I'm sorry, this is how this program is, because it does so much stuff at once. But you've got, the pages are being laid out. Every background is pulled out of the colors from the photos on the page. And it's going very slow. And they'll all have text and information on everything on it, which picture, name, and stuff. And if you look at the sidebar here, as I scroll down, I did almost all of this layout work in the last few days.
Oh, wow.
And I have a second book that's the same length already prepped and ready too. So,
is that also on Eagles, or is that on the second book?
The second book will be a part of the same campaign as a bonus for a higher tier, and it's laid out as close to the same as I can while varying it, and it has similar photos from different angles, perspectives, or stuff like that for each section.
Nice.
So it's a complete alternate. There's no repeated photos, but there's still some similarity of design.
Cool.
Mm.
Very nice.
And you can actually see, like, here. Spirit.
Mm.
And everything here are photos I took myself here.
Oh, wow.
This is all my work.
These are great.
Wow. How hard is it to actually track down the Eagles and get photographed?
There's quite a few in this area, and some are done for the rare eagles that aren't U.S. I do them in zoos and stuff, but for a lot of the eagles, there's a lot of hiking, a lot of exploring, since they're here in winter, not summer much.
Of course they are.
I'm out hiking in the snow and ice, finding them. So there's 99 pages on both books, and there's an average of at least a couple eagles a page. So this is going to be hundreds of photos between them here. And it's a culmination of a lot of hard work and a lot of time I've spent. And you got, there's some spring shots and summer shots like this with the few that stay in the area. But a lot of the stuff I have to take of the eagles because of when they're here is more like this full-size one I have in the book, which is ice.
Wow.
Oh,
Which
wow.
this picture was actually taken the day after I was in the hit and run with Chris from Real Review. So I took this the day after having 7 bones bruised up my spine.
Ooh.
That's some dedication. Damn.
Wow.
So
Like, I can almost...
it's a
I
lot
have
of
a
heart.
similar story.
and
There
soul
was a
in
really
this.
cool bird across the creek once, years
And-
ago, and I was wearing
Yeah,
a
that's
skirt
basically
and
that's what I've
heels.
been working on, and I've gotten a lot done the last few days.
Heck yeah.
You know?
That is insane. That is
That's
a lot
impressive.
of bird pics.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Good picks. Wow.
It's about 2.5 years of photography all over nature stuff, including eagles, has culminated for that book and for several others I'm working on for different animal types too.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. What other animal types are you?
The next book set will be swans, and there will be bison and wild predators like coyotes and stuff like that down the road too, along with just different songbirds and wild species and stuff. It's going to be systematic. I'm actually trying to make like an encyclopedic library of this photography work, and I'm trying to have different people in Comicsgate help me do high art, hand-painted, hand-drawn covers for each book.
Cool.
Oh, that is going to be beautiful.
That is awesome.
Including the fact that I have covers for that one being... One of them's actually being worked on by Dark Gifts.
Ooh.
So... there's still going to be extras, similar to like we do with Comicsgate, but it's going to be different. It's going to be more like high art and postcard styles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
High art. What are you implying?
No. No. Don't take that personal. You know what I mean. There's a different style of art for it, and there's traditional versus what's considered the high arts and specific paint styles versus comic and stuff, and they're all good art. They're all arts. They're just different titles they give it.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'll cry myself to sleep tonight.
I love this community to death because they've helped so much with me growing as an artist and been so supportive of everything I go through and all my issues.
That's why the community is awesome.
Yeah. A lot of support. So what are you working on here on the coloring now, Lenore?
Oh, shit. We're back to me?
Well, she pulled
You
it
just
off.
keep doing what you're doing.
Right now I am just adding the highlight and shading to the dudes, and then I don't usually do the like final pass of like the effects with the actual like lights glowing and the different colored stuff until like the very end. So bear with me.
That's all right.
Where did I put those lights anyway? Okay, what is this? What the fuck is this? Oh, that's their skin. Okay, that's what that is. Who needs skin? It's a highly overrated organ.
So, Doc, I've got a movie for you. So, if they remade Mrs. Doubtfire, do you think they would change some of the premise of that?
Ooh, that's another one that would be good to review. I'd have to rewatch that because, yeah.
What is that movie where the dude gets fired as a writer and he can't work anymore, so he pretends to be a woman to get writing jobs? Tootsie?
Well, that's
man,
that's
I watched.
I am so much older than I looked. I'm so sorry.
No, I watched Tootsie.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, what is that called? What is that called? Because
it
that would be problematic.
It was acting jobs, but yeah,
acting jobs. Sorry, I was mixing it with a parody in my head.
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Well, we could look at that. I mean,
no, it
Mrs.
wasn't
Doubtfire.
It
Well,
was
Mrs. Doubtfire was definitely very progressive movie for the time. I mean, that would have been what, 91 or 92, I think. And there was a whole big push from the political right in terms of family values. And I remember, Dan Quayle had attacked Murphy Brown, the show Murphy Brown, and received a lot of grief for it. And then a couple years later,
never really watched that show. I remember it was.
I never did either. It's just that she had a baby out of wedlock, and Dan Quayle criticized her for it. And then a couple years later, the Atlantic Monthly ran a story saying Dan Quayle was right, pointing out that, children who are born out of wedlock oftentimes have more difficulties growing up than children who are in in two-parent families, or at least both parents are involved in the parenting. So but I remember Mrs. Doubtfire, I think, was definitely a Hollywood reaction to all of that, because at the end they say Mrs. Doubtfire is doing the TV show and Sally Fields is watching it, and they're saying they're all different types of families, and Sally Fields nodding along with it. So
Oh, Gidget.
well, but even something like that, it would be interesting to go back and watch it and see, is there still stuff in there that would make, the woke crowd go ape shit. So yeah, that could be a possibility. Definitely. All right. Well, I will put that on the potential list.
I'm watching the coloring.
Yeah, me too. It's really nice.
Me too.
Yeah. Lenore's like, I'm not.
I'm not. No hands. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, my eyes are closed.
That would have been an amazing coup if I had recorded myself coloring on this for an hour and a half, and then just played that instead of actually doing it, and then it's coloring, but I'm leaning back.
Yeah.
No, I'm working.
Like the Milli Vanilli of coloring.
But it's my own voiceover.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of a choir of other people.
Yeah.
That's what blew my mind. I'm how you get 6 people to sound like 2 dudes? Can we roll that back and talk about the studio workers? Because holy shit.
Yeah.
6 people in a choir mixed down to sound like 2 dudes. That blows my mind.
Yeah. That's kind of amazing.
I'm just bringing my own screen up here for just a second, so that this is the sign-up page for Eagles and Adventure Through Photos.
Niceness.
Yes.
It looks dope.
I don't
Throw
think
money at it.
I don't think I've seen the video yet. Let's take a quick look,
Let's
shall we?
watch.
Prepare yourself.
The music is not licensed. It was carefully put together by a friend, by the way. Just to help me, because I don't know what I'm doing making videos.
Prepare yourself to be taken on an adventure. With every turn of the page, you will lose yourself deeper into the majesty and beauty that is the eagle.
My pretty.
Prepare for an adventure in eagles.
You're getting
The
given
guy
the bird.
who did the
that
video
picture.
for me, who did the voiceover, who did everything, his name is Rambling Canuck, and he's actually part of my Star Trek-y fan group.
Fun.
But he did it as a favor to me to help me out. Isn't that
That's
sweet?
cool. That is
Yeah.
He did all of it for me. He tracked down music I could use without license issues. He did the clip show, put it together, did the voiceover, everything for me to help me out.
No, it's really nice. Yeah.
So what's your Star Trek thing? What is that?
Oh, I'm in a bunch of different Trekkie groups that do late night streams,
Okay, cool.
including hanging out with people from Trek Yards and stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
They're going to be doing a show bringing Cisco back. Is that right? When she's like, I'm out. This fool doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm out.
Not sure. What were you asking there?
Wasn't Cisco, right? From Deep Space Nine?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Isn't he supposed to be getting a show?
He better. I'm tired of people saying like, "Oh, we finally have a captain of color." I'm like, no, we've been had one.
Say that.
He just wasn't even a captain. He was better than a captain. He ran a whole space station.
He ran the whole space station.
And what?
So I thought they were supposed to do a show with a Cisco show.
I would watch the absolute crap out of that. And I haven't even watched Picard, so that says some stuff.
No, I am very not a fan of anything past what they consider the old Trek. I don't like 2009 and past. I don't like the new Trek because I don't feel the heart, spirit, and intellectualism.
Same.
I also don't like those who gatekeep and tell people on either side that they're not fans if they don't like the new or the old. So I'm happy to like the old and be friends with people who like anything.
For real, though. That's how the world should work.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, private chat.
What, huh? Oh, I forgot that's a thing. Oh my god.
That's
How
why
you
I keep
doing
going
that?
off camera.
How are you doing that?
Fuck.
You're like phasing.
That's some...
Like space-time continuum stuff right there.
I'm a crazy chick. What can I tell you?
I am baffled. And bewildered. I can barely...
My record is 6 at a time.
That's amazing.
I can't. I can't with you. How? How do you...
Oh, wow.
I'm hyper as fuck. That's how.
I mean, that's a way.
Right now, Piper's screen sniping Fraga on one of the streams I'm on.
Fun.
Crazy chick.
Like, we snagged you out of the bathtub, and it took you how long to be like, I am spinning plates around here. Crazy. Like, I can just see you do. Dang.
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time.
Hey, you never watched Inspector Gadget?
I love the first time people hear me do that voice. I love the faces. Lenore's like, what the fuck just happened?
I was looking, so I was like, who's doing that? When I looked up, and I was like, oh my. That is not...
She's like, one of the dudes' mouths are moving.
One of the
What's
dudes is
going
being
on?
weird. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Marginally more terrifying. Oh, wow.
Go Gadget arms.
Whoops.
Okay, I'm being like mesmerized watching the coloring. This is
I keep forgetting you guys can see what I'm doing. That's so funny.
We're just like this. We're like,
This is the last stream. The last time I was on a stream, I was totally coloring something, but it wasn't like people couldn't see that I was doing it. I was just playing it off. Like, no, I'm paying attention to the stream, but
yeah.
the stream is also paying attention to me. Hooray!
I just realized I can put an overlay on here and upload video clips. So
Yeah, I've played
and
with a lot of
I thought you had to
stream.
have the pay version of StreamYard.
No, that just increases how many things you can have saved and stuff like that. There's also an option to have it automatically move everything up when you pull up one of the little banner things, so it doesn't cover people's faces.
That wasn't a personal thing you were talking about right there, Leanore.
No, it certainly had nothing to do with me in particular.
Yeah.
I clicked everything. On the first time I used Streamlabs, I clicked all the things. I did a test stream. I broke it twice. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with Streamlabs.
Nice.
StreamYard, I should say.
StreamYard, yeah.
I also use Streamlabs for my Twitch streams, but it's weird when they're so similar. And people ask me a question about one, and I'll think it's the other one.
Just give them an answer.
Shit happens. Okay, let's move on to panel 2. And just how I'm sitting for
Wonder what stream she's on right now.
all of them. My brain.
She is in the multiverse.
Right? She's Doctor Strange in it right now.
Yeah.
All right.
That's looking good.
And, very cool.
Oh, crap.
So how many days left do you have, Doc?
Well, officially, I've got what's on this. It says 21 days left on the page, but that's the first 30, and I will re-up for another 30 when the first 30 is just about over. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When you launched, I know I supported on the first day. How was the support on the first day?
First day support was really good. Heck, let me see if I can find my bring it up here real quick. And, see if I can find the metrics on this. First day I raised 261. The big day was actually day 2 where I raised 898. That was the day that someone grabbed the one of the draw you into issue 3 perks.
Okay.
And, the next day was pretty good, and I've had since then one 203 day and a couple of 0 days in there, but that's all right. I had 1 5 2 0. No, wait. No, I've only had 1 0 day. I did have a day where I raised 6 and another day where I raised 5, and it's
that's good, man.
Just got to keep pushing it. I think this next Monday I'm going to get on Peter Cimetti's show right off the bat, because this last week I was hoping, one of the things about doing shows that I've noticed is you tend to do better. If you are not the only guest, you tend to do better if you're like number 1 or number 2. One of the best days I had last time was when I got on Cecil's show when he was doing a bunch of a thing like Peter Cimetti does regularly, and I got to be number 2, and
oh, nice.
Yeah, so that helps. And but I got on Cimetti, and he went early this last week because he didn't want to compete with Dan Fraga. And,
I missed out completely.
So but this next week I plan on really being on it and getting on there.
It's interesting because I've been on Pete's show a few times, and it's a great show. I almost wonder timing wise. It's like I felt like I've gotten on early, like 1 or 2 a number of times, and I felt like a number of people started watching afterwards because I don't know if there's just a lot of shows that are going on, so it's like you can't really time yourself being more in the middle. I think you're right. I don't think you want to be at the end, but like at the beginning, it seems like people are just still kind of getting ramped up and getting onto the show, because I felt like. And even the person that was kind of administrating the show, they really kind of got on afterwards. So I was kind of like, it was cool. At the end of the day, you're grateful for whatever you can get. Especially when somebody else is opening up their channel. But it seemed like I was like, It seemed like I stayed on the show the whole time. I was like, I felt like the best, like the people that were getting just in terms of responses. I was like, they were like 3 or 4 in. And then it kind of like hit its peak, and then it kind of petered off.
Sorry.
Because I said
you said petered.
I did say petered.
While talking about Peter Cimetti's show, and it was just a the domino
That's a lot.
effect of
That's
I
a lot.
couldn't not giggle. I'm
That's a
sorry.
lot of Peters.
I was trying so hard.
Yeah, I kind of set myself up for that.
Yeah, Earthbound. Earthbound was the one we were talking about. Narwhal earlier. Earthbound was the comic that I was thinking of that I couldn't remember. That is a very strange comic, but strange in a good way. It's incredibly fascinating. He's got his Foreign Agent still funding. It's still in demand, and I'm hoping, I hope we get that one soon because I'd really, I want to see what comes out of Narwhal's brain next.
He'll have to. Is his next project is totally different, or he hasn't even?
Well, I don't know. Earthbound will need a sequel to it, but Foreign Agent is not. Yeah, it's a different 190-page graphic novel, military winter western home invasion comic within a comic. So
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Home invasion comic within a comic. Isn't that like another type of home invasion?
Yeah, that I like kind of the blue and what color is that? Is that like a violet? I don't know my colors. Maroon. I don't know what that is, but it looks awesome. I like that better than just kind of like the solid.
It's like a pinkish color. I try to always do some sort of either like smudginess or whatever, but either I don't want to put too much detail because you're just supposed to be looking at the person. And
yeah,
she's in a club. There's pink and blue lights everywhere. Why not?
That looks cool. Yeah,
it's doing things. Dang it! Stop. Saving recovery. I turned on the save recovery information for my own benefit, and I still complain every time it pops up. Stop doing that. I mean, don't stop doing that because when my computer crashes, I'd like for it to still be saved, but stop it.
Don't do it when I don't want you to.
Only do it when I
do it when I need it.
You're right.
That's it.
Do it right before you crash and not 1 second before.
Exactly.
All right. This is the least effective way to identify which layer I have selected, but that's how I do it. So.
Yeah, I like how you're breaking up the color behind her there with the little. I wanted
it to kind of look like
light. It looks
the
really
lights, like simulate kind of like the way that the lights are bouncing off of everything. But in this particular case, they're not hitting anything but her subconscious, I guess. Let's get deep with it. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Overlay.
Look,
she's returned from the multiverse.
Look, Rosetta, I figured out how to make a ticker at the bottom.
He started pushing all the buttons.
I'm so proud of myself.
You've graduated to grade 2.
That was second grade StreamYard.
Next, I'll be ready for potty training.
You're not potty trained in your grade 2?
Lenore's like, yeah, she's like, uh-oh.
Well, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. It always depends.
See what you did there.
See? Every now and again.
Oh no, this is the wrong. Oh my god. That would have been the wrong brush. That would have been tragic. Okay. How is this still tragic?
So how are the other shows?
I think that was a question for you, Rosetta.
She's phasing in between multiverses right now.
I'm going to have to. Okay, guys. I'm on these streams. She's screen sniping. I'm trying to help deal with putting out fires of drama in the community. So I'm getting a headache trying to bounce back and forth at this moment. So I'm going to jet.
That's all right. I think we're about ready to close up shop tonight, anyways.
So. We still need to have a serious stream together sometime, not just me crashing the end of your stream out of the tub.
Absolutely.
You said,
and I will see you on my channel tomorrow night.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
All righty. Yeah, I think this is a good time to wrap up. We've had good discussion, a graveyard shift, some nice coloring, and even got a nice little surprise guest in here. So
yeah.
All righty. Thank you, John, and thank you, Leanore, for both gracing this channel with your presence. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm going to be doing
where's Tilt at? Has it moved?
What do you mean? Oh, I'll check
I'm like,
real quick.
wait,
I
where
can
are we?
guess it probably has not. But no, still at the same. But that's all right. This show will replay endlessly. So
Exactly.
It is on demand for your viewing
Yeah.
pleasure.
I think hopefully Rosetta will bring some more in tomorrow. So it's all no pressure, Rosetta. All righty. Thanks everyone for showing up again. John, Leanore, and Rosetta. Thank you all. And we will. I will be back. Well, should have a produced video tomorrow, Thursday, and then I'll be back with CNV midday on Friday. And do show up at Rosetta's show tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll have a whole bunch of Tilt 2 creators there to discuss the project and just have a general all-around fun. So, all righty, everyone. Peace out.
Bye.